I'm Dr. Sam Ellis, and I'm a board-certified medical and cosmetic dermatologist in Northern California. I am so excited to introduce you to my skincare brand, Prequel. As a dermatologist, I really wanted to create a skincare brand that filled a void. I think about what my patients are asking for when I see them in practice every day, what they need in their skincare routines. And yes, there are drugstore products that are great, and I've recommended them for years. And yes, there are products that are sold in a dermatologist's office or a plastic surgeon's office that are kind of not accessible for most people. And I really wanted to hone in on this spot where I feel like there was room to improve, which is tried and true ingredients that are evidence-based, but then incorporating them into formulas that are more advanced and experiential and honestly inspiring and motivational to use. And lastly, I really wanted to create a skincare brand that is affordable and accessible to people so that they can not only use amazing products, but they're able to continue to use those products over time and not feel like there was a financial strain put on them for doing good skincare. Now, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to ask, what does prequel mean? So let's talk about that. By definition, prequel is a story that contains events that precede what already exists. And when I see patients in my practice and they're coming to me with a dermatologic concern, whether it's medical or cosmetic, the first thing I really want to understand is their story. What has already happened to their skin to get them to this point? And that really inspired the name. So in medicine, in medical school, when you're first learning about taking care of patients and how to treat them, one of the most important things is collecting something called their medical history. It's all the things that have gone into their current problem and have contributed to it in some way, whether it's their social history, where they live, what they've been exposed to in their life, their other medical conditions, what else they're putting on their skin in the case of dermatology. And all of that really informs my current diagnosis as well as how I'm going to treat that patient moving forward. And the other thing about dermatology is no one comes to the dermatologist preventatively, at least most people do not. They already come in with a problem. And my goal with Prequel was to create a line of products that can be used before you ever need a dermatologist, things that can help keep your skin healthy in the long term. And for my patients who are already dealing with current skin issues, something that they can use in conjunction with their medical care to keep their skin healthy long term. Really, my goal with Prequel and this brand was to create products that not only complement maybe the medical therapies that my patients are using for their long-term skin conditions, but to also create products that are preventative, that promote skin health long-term, and that everyone can use and benefit from. When I think about my skincare philosophy and how I talk to my patients every day, one of the biggest things and something that is so important to me is that skincare should be intentional. Every product in your routine should have a purpose. There needs to be a why behind it, and it should really serve you. And really, I wanted to create products that everyone can use, no matter your age, what phase of life you're in, what state your skin is currently in, that you could find a product that addresses your skin concern, that supports your skin health, and that you love to use. If I were to describe what Prequel really is at its core, it is basic plus, where you are taking ingredients that have been in the skincare game for a long time, that have proven efficacy, that really work well, but then elevating it, whether that means making it more experiential and enjoyable to use, bringing in technology, whether that's delivery systems or special ingredients that make the product even more effective and enjoyable. But it just takes what I think of as like your skincare essentials and brings it to this special place where you're inspired to use it, you want to use it, and it's still, of course, going to be effective and affordable. And you guys know, my recommendations are rooted in science. What does the data show? So all of the ingredients that are core to Prequel are clinically validated. I'm using them at levels that maximize the performance and also make the product enjoyable to use. My goal with this was to create products that enhance skin barrier function with optimal product performance. And without further ado, let's get into the products. If you followed me on Instagram or on YouTube for a while, you know I love a good ointment. I think it is such a staple in any skincare routine. I love using them on my lips and my cuticles and my heels and even incorporating it into my body lotion. And I always knew that if I ever created a skincare brand, I would want a skin protective ointment as part of my initial launch. And that's why I created the Skin Utility Ointment. When I counsel my patients about how to take care of their skin, something I often talk about and will often say is keep it goopy. And I know that sounds a little bit ridiculous, but anytime you have a break in the skin, whether that's a superficial abrasion or you've had surgery and you're taking care of stitches, keeping that incision or that scrape covered with something goopy and occlusive to keep the good stuff in and the bad stuff out is really important. And that's what this ointment is for. So at the core of this skin utility ointment is petrolatum, and petrolatum is sort of the OG occlusive. Occlusives are ingredients that essentially prevent something called transepidermal water loss, or water loss through the skin. And that's really important because when your skin is hydrated and moist, it functions better. But what I found after using a bajillion different petrolatum-based products over the years is that oftentimes they can be sticky or feel greasy or feel heavy on the skin. And these occlusive ointments serve such an important purpose in skincare, but I wanted one that was more enjoyable to use, that gave that elevated experience and that you actually wanted to apply to your skin. The reason I called this the skin utility ointment is because it's incredibly versatile and you can just use it in a multitude of ways. So I like to use this ointment on my lips when they're feeling chapped. I love using it on my hands and around my nails to keep my nails really healthy and supple and my cuticles nice and smooth. I love it on my heels and my elbows, and you get the picture. I want to basically put this all over my body because it is the perfect texture. It's all of the occlusive petrolatum-based ointment that I want without that greasy, heavy texture. And even though I personally don't do a full face slug, I do sort of like a selective slug. I wanted a product that was good for that you could still achieve that great skin barrier support without feeling like you were going to bed super sticky. Aside from this skin utility ointment being great for things that sort of happen to your skin on a day-to-day basis, it's also incredibly good for aftercare. Like, I'm thinking about the procedures that I do in my office. For example, when I do a laser on a patient and they have to go home and take care of their skin, one thing I'm really strict about is that they keep their skin barrier supported and protected. And oftentimes I will recommend a petrolatum-based ointment and I get some pushback because they're like, Dr. Ellis, I don't really want to put this on my entire face because it's really a textural issue, and they also just feel like they're slimy and greasy without having a moisturization aspect to that product. And that's what this utility ointment is really for. It's to be used to help support that skin barrier, to feel good on the skin, and to help heal the skin. Not only is this utility ointment formulated with USP grade petrolatum, which is highly purified and incredibly safe, but it also has this unique shielding polymer, which helps form a breathable, flexible film on the skin. This enhances how comfortable the product feels, but also enhances its performance. And this skin utility ointment is really for everyone. I think about people who have sensitive skin or rosacea or struggle with things like eczema, and everyone can utilize this ointment in their routine and make it effective for them. This has become such a staple for me that if I go on a trip and I forget to pack this, which only happened once, I was basically devastated because I use it for so many different things. And of course, this ointment is non-greasy, fragrance-free, hypoallergenic, and really suitable for all skin types. It's safe for people with eczema, safe for people with sensitive skin. I wanted to create an ointment that everyone can use. Aside from being formulated with petrolatum and a shielding polymer, it also contains our skin barrier complex, which is packed with ceramides, as well as α-bisabolol, which is going to calm and soothe the skin. Honestly, I'm just so excited for you guys to try this product. I know you're going to love it as much as I do. It takes your classic petrolatum-based ointment, but to the next level. And I love skin protectants so much, so maybe don't be surprised if you see this in another format in the future. All right, my next Prequel product is the Cleanser, and that's right, I said Cleanser, not cleanser. And the reason I called it Cleanser is because it is a glycerin-based cleanser for the face and the body. I really imagine this as something you keep in your shower, something that you use every single day on all parts. It's safe for everything, and it's really going to nourish your skin and cleanse it. You might already know how much I love glycerin, but if you're not aware, let me tell you. First of all, when I was developing this brand, I really had to think about what products are my patients really asking me for. And the number one thing people ask me for a recommendation on in their derm visits is a gentle cleanser. And I always had some that I kind of throw out there, but I wanted one that got me excited, that was interesting to use, that felt just incredible, and of course was really effective without stripping the skin. Now, the tricky thing with cleansers is people want their skin to feel really clean, but they don't want it to feel stripped or depleted, and formulating a product that actually takes dirt and impurities away from the skin, but also supports the skin barrier is how the cleanser was sort of formulated, because it uses glycerin. Glycerin is a humectant that draws water to the skin's surface. And actually, when you have it in concentrations above 20%, it also acts as a skin protectant. And I think of glycerin in here sort of acting like a bouncer. It keeps the surfactants, which are the cleansing molecules in your cleanser, from stripping the natural lipids away from your skin. So although you're removing your makeup and your sunscreen and the other debris, your skin stays intact. And that's why glycerin is incredible. I really wanted Prequel to launch with a cleanser because one, I'm so picky with cleansers. I have sensitive skin, I have rosacea, and there are so many cleansers out there that really just don't work for my skin. They're maybe gentle, but they actually don't feel like they cleanse, or they feel like they really cleanse my skin, but then I actually feel squeaky clean, which is also problematic if you struggle with your skin barrier. I think we often incorrectly think of cleansers as something to deplete our skin and then we're just going to kind of support it later with whatever else we put on top. But cleansers shouldn't be that way. They should leave your skin feeling supported. And that's really what we achieved with this cleanser. Not only does it clean your skin, but it also provides immediate hydration. And because this was really important to me, we did clinical testing that showed that it continues to hydrate your skin over 24 hours. So even though I love glycerin so much, when you formulate with it, it can make products feel sticky or tacky. And it was so important to me that I used glycerin and that we got this texture right. So I worked with formulators to ensure that this is a plushy, luxurious, beautiful formula. It lathers incredibly well. My son's first word besides mama and dada was bubble, and I really wanted to give him like the bubble experience. So this cleanser has really become my cleanser staple in my routine for both my face and body. In addition to being formulated with over 50% glycerin, this also contains inulin, oat, arginine, and aloe to soothe and comfort the skin as well as cleanse it. And then the last product in my Prequel launch trio is the Advanced Relief 10% Urea Moisturizing Milk. This is an incredible moisturizer for the face and the body. It was really important to me to have a moisturizer in my launch because literally the #1 thing that patients say to me when I'm looking at their body head to toe during their skin checks every single day in clinic is, "Sorry, Dr. Ellis, my skin is so dry." And we talk about, hey, are you using a moisturizer? Have you found one that you're incorporating into your routine? And I find that so many people don't use a moisturizer when it is such a skincare health essential. So I really wanted to incorporate Urea into a moisturizer, and I almost didn't because I feel like Urea gets a bad rap pretty much exclusively based on the name. Like, yes, I get it, Urea doesn't sound super appealing, but it's actually an incredible skincare ingredient. So it's a humectant, meaning that it draws water to the skin surface. So to me, it's really an essential component of a moisturizer. And in addition to that, Urea at 10% acts as a mild keratolytic, meaning that it helps smooth the skin. So this is a smoother and a soother. Urea does so many amazing things, and I'm so happy to finally give it a platform to shine. When people think about having dry skin, they think about skin that lacks moisture or hydration, which is absolutely true. But when you look at yourself and you see dry, flaky, scaly skin, the other thing that's happening there is this accumulation of dead skin cell buildup. And as we get older, as our skin matures, those dead skin cells don't slough off as readily. So having an ingredient like Urea, which is also a keratolytic that helps break apart those surface dead skin cells to reveal brighter, more glowy skin is really important. Because when I think about my dry skin or the dry skin that my patients ask about and are annoyed with, they don't just want their skin to feel good and be moisturized, they also want their skin to look good. They want it to have that glow. They want their skin to have suppleness and bounce, the things that their skin used to have. And using this moisturizer that has Urea in a 10% concentration helps you achieve that. The reason I called this a moisturizing milk is because it has this beautiful mid-weight texture that glides so effortlessly over the skin. This really is a great moisturizer for face and body, and you can use it every single day. So I like to use it in the evening after I've cleansed my face and applied all of my skincare actives, but I also like to use it after the shower. I find that even though I'm often in a rush, I'm on the go, I gotta take care of my son, all those things, I have 5 seconds to put on body moisturizer. And that was one of the things we really wanted to focus on with this formula is that it glides easily over the body, it dries down quickly so you can put it on and move on with your day and know that it's going to nourish your skin. Aside from being an excellent moisturizer, I also think this is amazing for people who struggle with rough or bumpy skin. I have lots of patients who find that they have little bumps on their upper outer arms or on their thighs, and they really would love that to be just like a little bit smoother. And I feel like this moisturizer really takes care of that while also being super hydrating and easy to use. For those who might be sensitive to alpha hydroxy acids like glycolic acid and lactic acid, this is a super nice alternative that is incredibly effective. Like the other Prequel products, this Urea moisturizing milk is safe for people with sensitive skin and those struggling with chronic skin conditions like eczema or psoriasis. It's hypoallergenic, it's fragrance-free, and it's also pH optimized, which really helps the Urea work the most effectively. And those are the 3 products I'm launching with for Prequel. I am so excited for you guys to finally try this brand. I think you will love how effective, affordable, and easy to use these products are. You can buy them on prequelskin.com. Be sure to follow us at Prequel Skin on Instagram and on TikTok. And Oh, I'm just so excited. Of course, if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments below or reach out to me on Instagram, send me a DM. I wanna talk all about Prequel skin with you. And this is really only the tip of the iceberg. I cannot wait for you guys to see what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate your support. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.